Do it.
Hey, Pete.
Say something. Hey, man.
So, yeah, we're saying some things about our guest today who we're excited about. He's having some technical issues, so he'll be joining us in just a second. And I kind of want to hold his intro back for when he joins us because it's as much for him as it is for us. He needs no introduction. He is John Davidson. Everybody knows who he is. So, it'll be great to talk to him. Yeah. And very much fun. So the thing about John Davidson that I like is that he's always been a musician. He's been a musician and a singer. He's always been a singer. He's had a variety show. He had a variety show way back in the 60s, maybe 70s, late 60s, early 70s, that included George Carlin and Richard Pryor. And, a lot of people don't know that. So he's legit. He's got mad cred in the industry. Of course, most of our generation knows him for hosting That's Incredible, which had
$400,000 pyramid or $10,000 pyramid, whatever.
Yeah, I think it was 100 by the time he got to it.
Yeah, tic-tac-toe,
Hollywood Squares for sure.
Yeah. Oh yeah, that's right. Hollywood Squares. Yeah, I call it tic-tac-toe. The Love Boat. I mean, so many things.
I'm sure he hosted a show called Tic-Tac-Toe. He probably hosted 100 things. He's probably one of those guys where anytime somebody was developing a show, they were like, well, let's start with John Davidson.
Let's see if John's available. Yeah.
Yeah.
He also hosted The Tonight Show. Like, he was the main guy before Joan Rivers took over being the main lady,
That's right.
He was one of the main backup hosts,
Yeah, I had forgotten about that.
Think about that gig. There isn't a gig like that anymore. I mean, yes, you can go jump in for one of the Jimmys, but both of the Jimmy shows and all of the other shows were all like you had to watch. Did you watch Carson? And the answer was always yes.
That was water cooler topic number one. As soon as you got to work, back when you would gather around the water cooler.
Yeah.
It was the first thing. Did you see Carson last night?
Right.
And that was everybody's big break.
Yeah, everybody.
So for Carson to have said, the guy who should host this when I'm not here is John Davidson. That's really saying something. And as we say all these nice things about his hosting chops, the main thing is he's always defined himself as a singer.
Yeah.
And of course, I appreciate that. I know how that is. I've always defined myself as a musician, no matter what we find ourselves doing.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I know how that struggle is. And I think, he's got 12 albums, man. 12 albums.
Yeah. And he's charted a lot. It's incredible. Yeah. And also, we can't lose sight of this. In their time, in their heyday, it was a good haircut.
I have to point out that you just said that's incredible.
Yeah.
That's how in the zeitgeist he is.
Yeah. Yeah. But it's between him and Glenn Campbell in their era for best hair. Like those guys both had fantastic hair. And,
yeah. Well, he's in the Fantastic Hair Club because there were a few others. There was I would say BJ Thomas had good hair. You know what I mean? There were Greg Evigan. Greg Evigan had good hair.
Yeah.
Maybe a couple others, but Chris Christopherson.
Good hair.
Also had good hair. Willie Nelson, not so much.
He had his own hair, his own style. Anyhow, John Davidson is working on getting in. He's he's in Mexico. And so everything with the internet is a little bit harder in Mexico, apparently. So this is not the first time this has happened from when connecting from Mexico.
Yep. Okay. Since you brought up Mexico, our frequent co-host and your co-host on Popping the Bubble, Sandra Ponce de Leon, did she? I don't know if she wants it public, but she put it on Facebook.
Yeah.
She's in Mexico.
Yeah, she moved.
What a splendid life it looks like she is having down there. She's just surrounded by, Mexican beauty, beaches, and paradise, and all of that business. She's in Mexico.
Yeah, she moved. I'm trying to check in on John here, so vamp for me for a minute.
Oh, okay. Well, I'll talk more about John Davidson. So he's been on so many TV shows. In the 70s, he was on, let me see. I made some notes here, and I'm going to pull them up. But John Davidson, let's see, what did he do? The shows that he's been on include, of course, The Tonight Show. Holy cow! So there were 4 regular hosts of the Tonight Show. You mentioned Joan Rivers, along with John Davidson, but McLean Stevenson and Joey Bishop were the others.
Joey Bishop, that's great.
And for reference, you said that he was one of the regular sub hosts. He hosted the Tonight Show 87 times.
Yeah, that's a lot.
Yeah. So, he hosted a daytime game show called Time Machine. He was in shows, Sonny and Cher, Comedy Hour, Love American Style. I mean, just, there were just so many things that he had done in the 70s. He was in Love Boat, Fantasy Island, Spencer for Hire. I mean, he just was a guy who could get the job done. And, and ladies loved him. He's good looking, all that stuff. So it's just an easy thing for him to walk into those gigs and do them. And I guess he just had a natural charisma that everybody said, let's work with him again.
Yeah.
So
what couldn't he do? I mean, again, he's a wonderful singer, great musician, charted on the charts in several albums charting, not just songs,
Yeah.
And then he can host things like game shows and the Tonight Show. If you can host the Tonight Show and be called back 86 times,
yeah.
You can host anything. You're reliable. I mean, that is such a big job. Everybody's eyes are on you on that stage.
Yeah, that's playing in the Super Bowl.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. At quarterback, you're not kicking. You're
right.
He's running the show. It's a remarkable career. And then just in my brief interaction with him, I can say that he's just such a fantastic dude. He's just genuinely not just nice. Like, there is a refinement to his niceness. He's worked at maintaining just a very good demeanor. It's one thing just to be pleasant in interaction, like, hey, how's your back? But there's an actual genuineness in how he seems to be a really wonderful guy from my very brief interaction with him.
Yeah, I mean, it's one thing to pull that off. It's another thing to just be that guy.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, exactly. That's just how that is. There are some guys who, and it goes to show in every entertainment trade, there are just some people who have to work at it, and some people who are just good at that thing. And he just had the personality that went with the hair.
I've been listening to, and I know you've also done the same thing, to Matthew McConaughey's book. And there is something to be said for rising above your profession and what it does to you personally, and especially in Hollywood, where you can just become self-indulgent and overly inflated. Both of these guys seem to have dodged that bullet, and by that, I would imagine it's by design. They've done something to distance themselves from those sticky, sweet, wonderful things that are not good for you.
Yeah. So much temptation, and in the era that John Davidson came up in, a lot of those temptations were far less taboo. Yeah. I mean, it was easy to do things that would get you in a whole lot of trouble now. Yeah. And, he managed not to. He's a native of Pittsburgh. We like people from Pittsburgh. There's a lot of goodness that comes from the hard Scrabble upbringings in Pittsburgh. I'll shout out Greg Valley, who is one of our multiple time guest and friend of the show and friend of each of us personally, who is an artist. And if you are familiar with Greg Valley, Greg with 2 G's, Valley, like it sounds.com, go check out his artwork. He's got stuff all over Pittsburgh, murals. I mean, the vibrant colors of Pittsburgh are emerging now, and a lot of them have to do with Greg Valley. So I'm going to just encourage everybody to check that out. But just in terms of artists who have come from Pittsburgh, there seem to be a ton of them that we just like. Michael Keaton is from Pittsburgh, and guys like that. So there's an upbringing there that lends itself to the stuff that we like. A certain way that men from Pittsburgh hang on to their masculinity in such a way. So, we kind of dig that. The other thing that I wanted to say about a career like his is that it's easy to fall into the trap of all the vices when you're getting all that stuff handed to you. I mean, aside from all the stardom stuff that we pointed out, his management team, let's see, there was something about his manager that I read, but it was the big management team in the 70s, and they were running his career. So they could have gotten him practically anything, and he seemed to have chosen wisely so that he could sustain his identity as a singer and not get too swallowed up in the Hollywood stuff. Still work plenty as an actor and a tradesman, and entertain us a lot, but also maintain his his own thing. So we always applaud that for all the guests that we have on. And Pete's trying to work it out. We can see Pete's face. He's working out the technical stuff with John right now and trying to get internet connectivity from somewhere in Mexico. Now, I imagine that he's somewhere really nice, because he's a guy who seems to have put himself in really nice places throughout his career and life. And if you have to be in Mexico right now, I bet he's somewhere really, really sweet, trying to get on the internet with a margarita in his hand.
All right, here's the update. Because he's in Mexico, it won't let him get into Chrome or Firefox in a way that's normal. And so we're going to have to do this via Zoom. We'll record the video and post that later on. I don't know how to do a live version. And it also won't let him use his phone. And he's savvy enough to know like all these things. So we're just going to cut bait on this, and then we're going to go get it on Zoom. And then what we'll do is I'll spend some time later on today and put this up for everybody and put it on Facebook and all that kind of thing. So just everybody can bear with us. Technology is wonderful until it's not.
Yeah.
So
bear with us, everybody. We'll have this up pretty soon, and it'll be fun.
All right, John, I'm going to send you a link in a sec. I'm going to turn this off.
Bye.